Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and please hit the subscribe button. And if you're returning, please hit the likes button. And to all of my new subscribers, welcome to my channel. You're gonna love it here, I promise. And also, please go back and watch some of my other videos. And also comment comment on those videos as well. And thank you all for commenting on the Gypsy Rose videos. I enjoyed all the comments. I do try to answer all of my comments. Just keep them coming, and please keep them respectful as you all always have. I do answer all of the comments, and I enjoy the comments. Even if you don't agree with me, I enjoy them because that's what makes the world go around. We don't always have to agree with each other. And I love it. So thank you all so much for the comments and the interaction. That makes me happy. So anyway, today we are going to talk about one of my favorite comedians and actresses, Monique. And as you can tell by the title, would you sacrifice your integrity for money? And a while back, Monique had it's been about 10 years that she had discussed how she was kind of blackballed in Hollywood. And this was way back when she had made Precious. And it goes back to, I believe it was Tyler Perry and Oprah. And she had said that they wanted her to actually go out and after Precious was made, they wanted her to go out and, gosh, what's the word for it? I guess go out and promote the movie. And they wanted her to do it for free and not get paid. I think it was like $50,000, if I'm not correct. They had given her up front for the movie, and so that they wanted her to go out and promote the movie. And I guess promoting the movie, you'd have to travel all over to different states and promote it, and that's a lot of work. And she said that she declined and said no. She had just finished the movie, and she wanted to spend time with her family. She had been filming this movie, and she wanted to, take time out and to spend time with her family. And that didn't sit well with both of them. So they had started, acting funny with her. And she had gone on to Precious. I thought Precious, she did a tremendous job in Precious. And Monique has always been one of my favorite comedians and actresses. I've always loved Monique. And, we hadn't seen her for a while after Precious. And I was wondering why she hadn't, we hadn't seen her in any of the movies or any of the shows or whatnot, and where she was, until she came out and said that this has happened to her. And a lot of people were kind of being rude and saying, oh, she needs to stop. And I think one of the reasons that they were saying this is because it was Tyler Perry and it was Oprah, and they were kind of I'm not gonna sit and say that I wasn't kind of annoyed with her at first, even though she was one of my favorite actresses. I was like, oh, she's just, she needs to kind of stop and just, enough is enough. I did say that on one occasion, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't, because I did. But after kind of listening to her, and she was, kind of sitting down and listening to what she was actually saying and getting her take on it, I thought, we all go through that, I think, as women in general. And sometimes it just takes one person to kind of stand up and stand their ground to say, this is happening. And I'm glad that Monique did that, because even as a woman that's not famous, in everyday life, as we walk through everyday life, we as women get treated that way, where we say we're not going to stand for, um, they might offer us a position and say, oh, you make this amount of money, but we'll pay you this amount of money. But then you find out that someone of another race is making far more money than you are, and you're doing the same type of work. And this is what she was saying, that she was offered a Netflix comedy special on Netflix, and Amy Schumer was offered a lot more than what Monique was offered. And she thought, no, I'm not going to take that, because she was, she felt like she should be getting, a lot more than, or equal to what Amy Schumer was getting. And so she says, no, I'm not going to take that. And some people said that she should have just taken it because it was Netflix. And so I totally agree with her. So the title of this is, would you just then say, oh, well, it's money, or would you say your integrity? Would you say, no, I'm not going to do it because I am worth more than the money, and I'm going to stand up for what's right? So she ended up not taking it, and she said to everybody, let's boycott Netflix, because, this is what they're doing to women of color. They are not paying women of color, what they're worth. And I'm saying women of color, but I'm sure all women, period, are treated that way. I think that, down the line, but I think women of color get treated, that way. But I think all women in general, period, are treated that way. Women just, when we voice our opinion, we're told, oh, she's angry, or, and we don't have to be angry. If we're being stern, oh, she's angry, or it's that time of the month, or, it's always, we have to be so, oh, she's just touchy, or that's the way she is, or, if we don't smile, she's angry, or, why do we have to, as women, walk around with a smile on our face, or we have to, act a certain way, or, if not, we're just mean, or we're hateful, or we're not, they judge us differently. So, it is a difference, the way that women are treated. So, as she was saying all of this stuff, and I started listening to her, and she was going on different talk shows, I started thinking, you know what? She's right. So, she had been saying all of this stuff, and, I can play a little bit of the clips that I downloaded, and I'm going to play a little bit of the clips from an interview with her being on The View, and then there's an interview with her also on the Steve Harvey show. And I really, and I'm just going to say this, and some people might get angry with me or whatnot, but I don't care for Steve Harvey. I think Steve Harvey is well, I'm not going to say how I feel about Steve Harvey. I don't like him. I don't care for Steve Harvey, and I'm just going to be frank. That's my opinion. I don't care for Steve Harvey, and that's my opinion. Now, you guys might like Steve Harvey, and that's, great for you, but I don't care for Steve Harvey. But anyway, let me, I have to fix something real quick here, but I'm still going to talk as I'm fixing this real quick. But anyway, she had gone, so she's been saying this all along, that she had, she's been saying that all along, and she went on. So she had gone on to The View, and she had, she was saying all of this stuff. And then she said, she had gone on to different talk shows. She also said that she was underpaid. She had been, nobody, that Oprah and Tyler Perry, they said that, started telling everyone that she was hard to work with. And so she had started being blackballed. And so no one was wanting to work with her. She said that that no one, she was wondering why she had stopped getting calls, and that everybody had just stopped calling her. Lee Daniels, he had stopped calling her, even though in Precious she won an Oscar, and she thought that would make it all better because she won this Oscar for Precious. And so Tyler Perry, they all shunned her. Well, just probably about, I want to say, and let me try, I will try to find that, where Lee Daniels actually pulled her up on stage, and he actually apologized to her for that. Now, she has yet to receive an apology from Oprah. She has yet to receive apology from Tyler Perry, but Lee Daniels did come on, and he did apologize to her for, all of that had gone on, and said that he was really sorry. So I am going to just play a clip from from The View. And I just have to play a little snippet. I'm just going to play a little snippet. And this was her, before I play it, this was Whoopi. And Whoopi was telling her, this is how, you have to do it when you're in a movie. You have to go and you have to promote it. And this is what you do when you have a movie and whatnot. And I just, I'm trying to tell you as sister to sister or whatnot, and this is what you have to do. And, Monique saying, I understand that. So everyone is trying to tell her, basically that this is not happening to her. And she also went on to The Real, and she said the same thing. Nobody wanted to believe her. Nobody wanted to touch it because it was Tyler Perry and it was Oprah. And let's see. The View. Okay. Let's see if I can. Let's see.
So when they wanted you to come, and we've had this conversation, and I said if you had called me, I could have schooled you on what was expected.
So for 8 years, my family has suffered and my career has suffered because what I would not allow those entities to do was bully me. And because I didn't allow the bullying to happen, this is now what I sit in.
And there you have it. So she, because she would not allow her integrity to, for them to continue to bully her. She, they just can, and so everybody went against Monique because she spoke her mind, and she didn't allow, she just didn't stay hushed up and go to what they wanted her to do. Now, for years, everyone has been saying this about Oprah and Tyler Perry, but because it's Oprah and it's Tyler, no one wanted to get involved with this situation. And then we go over to Steve Harvey. And Steve Harvey, on his talk show, had Monique on shortly after this. And what he had to say was, let's see, and I think it's this one. And I'll
was cool with you. The two problems that we had, number one, the boycott of Netflix,
Yes.
we never gave people a point of action. Okay, if we're gonna boycott, are we gonna not get subscriptions? Are we gonna turn it off? Or are we gonna go down there and get signs? The second point what was coming to me was
boycotting.
This problem that you had at Netflix is rich people problem. Millions. Well, you got this, you ought to be cool.
But when you say, Mo, it's the way you want about it. And I want to explain that, and I thank you for saying that. Inequality is devastating, and it's extreme. And when people said, Monique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme? You damn right. But isn't inequality extreme? So we've got to get to a place where we're unafraid to say it out loud.
Okay.
What I would have loved, what I would have appreciated from my brother was had you picked up the phone before you went on the air and said, Monique, you've burned too many bridges and there's nothing I can do. See, I would have appreciated had my brother called me up and said, baby, let's.
Now, this is where he, she was telling him, you should have, pulled me aside, and you should have been there with me. I guess her and Steve Harvey go way back, and no one, everyone was on Oprah's side, everyone was on Tyler's side, and nobody was on Monique's side. And Steve said to her, she said, is it about, he mentioned something about integrity or money. And she said, no, it's about my integrity. It's about integrity. I'm not going to choose money over my integrity. And so now they've made another Color Purple movie, and they didn't ask Whoopi to be in the Color Purple this time. And Whoopi is the one who actually made the first Color Purple. And so Oprah did not even approach Whoopi about being in the Color Purple. And so the cast of the Color Purple, the new cast coming on, has gone on to The View, and they thanked Whoopi for, they gave Whoopi her flowers, per se, when they went on stage. And apparently before they got on stage, there was a little bit of a dispute, somewhat, of Oprah, between Oprah and Whoopi. And so I don't think Oprah was on. I did not see Oprah on stage when they went on to The View, but all of a sudden now that Taraji P. Henson called out not being paid enough as Black actresses, it's all back in the spotlight. And they were sitting on this platform where all of the actresses was on this platform, and they said on this platform that one of the she was one of the actresses, and she said that she thanked Taraji for being the voice for them, because when they went on set, they didn't have water, they didn't have food, they had to share this one little bitty RV between the three of them. And Taraji got on the phone and had to call Oprah. And then the first thing Oprah says, well, you know, Miss Oprah fixed that. Well, Oprah is one of the production people, and Steven Spielberg is the other one. Why wasn't there different dressing rooms for these major actresses? There was Fantasia, there was Taraji P. Henson, and this other big actress, and I can't think of her name because I haven't seen The Color Purple. But why weren't they given their own dressing rooms, and why wasn't there water and snacks given to these Black actresses that are major actresses in Hollywood? Why didn't they have the supplies that they needed when we have Oprah Winfrey, who is a big time producer? She has lots of means to make sure that they are well taken care of. Why does it take Taraji P. Henson for them to call Oprah to tell her that they don't have these things on set, when Oprah should know what should be on set and what shouldn't be? She's calling all of the shots, and so I don't understand that. And Steven Spielberg, they're the producers. They should know what goes on their production company and their crews. They should know that. So this is what I'm saying. You know, we sort of sometimes put people in this huge box that we want to put people in. And you know what? I might get a lot of criticism because a lot of people, you know, like Oprah. And you know what? I don't have anything against Oprah. I don't have anything against Steven Spielberg, you know, but sometimes when we put people in boxes and we want to just uplift them and they can do no wrong, you know, to me, no one is perfect, and no one, you know, everybody does wrong. And to me, wrong is wrong and right is right. And when you put people on a pedestal and say that they can do no wrong, that is where there becomes issues and problems. And that's where, you know, you say, oh, when you start overlooking things, then that's where it becomes a problem and an issue. And that's where, you know, we start then losing respect. And to me, I think that Monique was very disrespected, and with the pay grid, I think that, you know, and I'm glad that when, you know, she's seen who her friends were, because that saying is true. When you are down and you're going through something, that's when you realize who your real friends are and who you have on your side. That's who you know, who has your back. And that's who you know who your true people are, is when you're going through something. And she found out who her real true people were. And those real true people was her husband. The only one that stood by her side was her husband. And of course her children, but her children were, you know, little, you know, minors. But her husband had her back. Her husband was the only one that stood right there beside her and had her back for over decades where she couldn't get a job and where nobody would give her a job, you know? And so, you know, now that Taraji spoke up, you know, everybody was, you know, and I have nothing against Taraji, but, you know, everybody was like, oh, you know, Taraji spoke up, poor thing, this is what's happening. But nobody wanted to have Monique's back when Monique spoke up. And I'm just saying, you know, we've got to do better. We've got to do better as women, standing behind women. And I say this all the time. We've got to stand behind each other and have each other's back. You know, I look at just women in general. You know, we want to, you know, talk about each other and do this about each other and nitpick about each other instead of having each other's back. You know, I don't get it. You know, if we would come together as women and just have that bond with each other, do you know what a force we would be? We would be a great force instead of bickering and talking about each other and, oh, she has this and look how she looks and what attitude she has and this, that, and the other. You know, if we would all come together, you know, women of all races, women of all colors, women of all ethnic groups, big, short, tall, small, you know, tall, whatever, come together and stand up for each other. Stand for what's right. And I think that we should have listened to what Monique has to say. Now, you know, I did hear someone say, well, you know, she enough already. She's said her piece. It's time for her just to, you know, let it go and go on. You know, I think that, you know, she's trying to, evidently you know, this happened to her 10 years ago. And evidently it's still going on because 10 years now later, it still happened to Taraji P. Henson. And it took Taraji 10 years now, Taraji's still saying the same thing. So Monique was saying it then, and 10 years now, it's still happening. So for her to stop doing what she's doing, is it going to help? No. We still need someone, we still need that voice out there to say, to help those people out there in Hollywood, to help those comedians, to, you know, we've got to make a stand. And if we silence everybody that is trying to talk and speak up for the next person, what do we have? Who do we have? So I say to Monique, you keep talking, you keep standing up for those ones that don't have a voice. You keep on doing what you're doing, and you keep standing up for those people that don't have a voice. Someone has to do it. Someone has to be brave. And Monique is brave, and I commend her for it. I commend her. So let's finish watching this Steve Harvey video. Hold on just a moment here. Let's see, because I want to get to the part where he says to her, sometimes you have to sacrifice your integrity. And we're going to get to that part because I have some things to say on, you know, Steve Harvey and how, and then I want you guys to comment on that as well. What you think. Let's see.
Now, in case you don't know, Mo told Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lee Daniels to suck her private parts.
Not my private parts.
Well, you said if I had one, I want them three to suck my private parts.
Yeah.
It wasn't private parts on stage. So now, then I went I quit breathing. I quit breathing for you.
I didn't.
What happened to you, Mo, was when you made that statement, the narrative got flipped. It wasn't about Netflix no more. It wasn't about Netflix no more. The attention was all off of where we needed to go. Huh?
That was before Netflix.
So good. So now when you bring up Netflix, it don't get no win, but you done just said this to these 3 people. And these 3 people, not because they're powerful, but because of who they've come. And what happens is, I told you, we can't cure darkness with more darkness.
What we can do is cure it with comedy. And what I'm not going to do, Steve, I'm never, ever going to waver from my comedy show on that stage. That's my gift, and that's my freedom. And what happens is, when you allow people to start taking your freedom and your gift and making it become what makes them comfortable, we then lose. When you called me with the morning show on the phone, I said to you, Steve, my family is suffering behind this. And y'all know I did nothing wrong. Y'all know my husband did nothing wrong. But none of y'all in real time, was strong enough to go publicly and say, we can't throw our sister under the bus.
Because, Mo, listen to me. We fighting 2 wars here.
What war?
There's 2 wars. It's what your issue is, and it's what the perception of the issue is, and the narrative has changed.
See, I'm hearing what you're saying, baby, and I agree with it when the narrative changes. But if all of y'all said, this is the only issue I have with it, baby, when all of y'all said privately, to include Oprah, all of y'all said privately, I've done nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing, we got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
But
we in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You cannot help them.
We're in the money game, but let me tell you what the game is before the money game. Before the money game, it's called the integrity game.
Exactly.
And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
But Mo,
wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children.
Okay, so I agree with her. It's not always sometimes about the money, because sometimes you have to, I mean, my philosophy is all money is not good money. Okay? All money is not good money. So sometimes you better watch, money, because all money is not good money. And so I agree with her completely. Sometimes you cannot sacrifice your integrity for money. And so that's where I think Steve Harvey is very wrong, because I think he's sacrificed a lot of money for his integrity in his own personal gain. So, for him to sit and tell her, it's not about her, it's about money. I just don't think so, Steve. And I think that that's where you're really wrong. So, let me know what you all think about this situation, and about how she was saying this 10 years ago, and how now it's only being brought to the forefront because now Taraji P. Henson is coming out about it, which is great. I'm glad that, it's being brought to the forefront again. And, and we're hearing about it again, and Taraji is bringing it out again. But why wasn't it listened to when Monique was saying it back then? And we as women have to keep this going in all areas, not just in Hollywood, but even in our everyday lives now. We're not being treated equal. So leave your comments in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this situation. Do you think Monique's right? Do you think, what do you think about it? I know there's a lot of Oprah fans out there, and hey, I'm not against Oprah. I like Oprah as well. I like Steve. Not Steve. Excuse me. I don't care for Steve. Okay. But I like Tyler Perry. You know, I have nothing against him, but if they're doing stuff like, you know, not providing the proper dressing rooms for the actresses, not providing water, not providing snacks, you know, that's not right. And you have all of this money, you know, you're making a big amount of money off of the films, you know, providing these A-list actresses and actors. Why aren't you providing them with the proper facilities that they need to film these movies? Why aren't you paying them properly? You know, paying them what they're worth. And you're making the bank off of them. You know, come on, Oprah. You know, come on, you know, Steven Spielberg. Let's get it together. You know, what is going on? You know, in my opinion, if this is true, because these actresses sat on stage and said that, and Oprah agreed. You know, she sat there and she said this. She said, once I heard about it, I corrected it. But you should not have had to hear about it, because you should have known about that from the beginning. It was your production. You knew where it was going to be filmed. I mean, I believe that they run a budget across the you know, I'm sure. And I'm sure that you're in, you know what's going on. So I don't know. Anyway, let me know your comments down below. I just wanted to touch on this. And I do want to say to Monique, I am so happy that you're speaking out, and I want you to continue to speak out, and may God bless you above anything that you can ever ask and imagine, that he would bless your career. I know that now that she's working with 50 Cent and Taraji P. Henson as well, working with 50 Cent, he has he's given them I think Monique is in one of his series, his movie series. He's given her a job. He's given Taraji P. Henson a job. So I am so happy that 50 Cent has stepped up and helped these Black actresses out. And he continues to help actresses, not just the Black actresses, but he continues to help the actresses out across the board. So kudos to 50 Cent. I thank him as well. You know, people can say what they want about him. Either way, you know, I don't have anything bad, or, you know, to say about 50 Cent. So I thank him that, you know, someone has stepped up to give Monique a job. So, you know, thank him too. So as we go along, I'm just going to kind of do, you know, here and there, my favorite comedians. Monique is one of my favorite actresses and comedians. I did want to find some type of comedy on her, but I didn't get a chance to pull up any, but that will be coming at a later date. Just a bit of her comedy, because I think she was on the Queens of Comedy, and I just love her. She's one of my favorite actresses. So stay tuned for one of my favorite male actors, comedians, excuse me, that's coming up. But let me know your comments and thoughts on this sad case. I just think that, you know, I hope that she gets everything that's due to her. And I hope that she continues to speak out. I hope that, you know, us as women continue to get our voices heard out there. And yeah. So until next time, please leave your comments. Please hit the subscribe button, and also the likes button. People, get those likes up so that we can get to my goal this year. And also the bells button, so you always know when I upload a video. But keep the comments coming. I like to know that you're engaged in the channel. And also go back and watch some of my other videos and comment on those as well. I also do cooking here and true crime. I love true crime, and, you know, just everyday topics like this one. So we do a little bit of everything here on this channel. So cooking is not the only thing that we do. I like to do a variety of things, keep the channel interesting and exciting. So you never know what you're going to get on this channel. So just tune in and watch what happens on Straight Talk and Cooking with Michelle. So until next time, bye.